Hi, this is Town of Islip Supervisor Angie Carpenter, and welcome to this edition of Supervisor Spotlight. And I am so excited today. Something a little bit different. Most of you know that we opened a brand new animal shelter after many, many years, decades really, over in Central Islip, very centrally located. It's a beautiful facility, our Town of Islip Animal Shelter and Adopt a Pet Center. And with us today, we have the center manager, Teri, and Jessica. And Teri has this lovely, charming little spaniel mix, right?
Right.
Spaniel mix, Curtis, who I met at the shelter a couple of weeks ago when we kicked off our Betty White Challenge. And Jessica has MC, which, so tell us about MC. What kind of a breed is he?
He's a Chihuahua mix, possibly a Chihuahua Doxy mix.
Okay.
He's 5 years old, and he is really great on a leash. He loves going for walks, and he seems to be dog friendly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And certainly people friendly.
Absolutely.
He's sitting there so calmly, the two of them.
Yeah, he's really enjoying the day
Curtis,
out.
I remember from the shelter, has quite a bit of energy and rolls around, but once he's on somebody's lap, he seems to be quite content. So Teri, you've been with us for a number of years, and I have to say, the staff at the shelter, there's no one more dedicated. And when they were at the old shelter, in conditions that were less than appropriate, I'm going to put it that way, they really were tough. It was a tough facility to work in and do the job that they do so well, but I never ever got any complaints. They went about their business and took care of the animals and interacted with the public and gave those who wanted an opportunity to adopt the opportunity to do so. So, but what is it like now being in the new facility?
The new facility is wonderful. The kennels are, they're easier to clean because of the walls we have now with the privacy panels in them.
Yep.
Without the cement walls, so these are easier to keep clean. The drains are in the middle of the kennels floor instead of in the back. The chutes lock now, which is a big help because...
Did you have the chutes before?
Yes, we did, but they weren't locking ones.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have a locking mechanism on them.
And the chutes in the old facility, did they have the same space out there, private space, and secure space for them to run around in outside?
Yes.
Was it configured pretty much the same?
Kennels are basically the same size. In the old facility, though, we had what they used to call community runs. When I first started with the shelter, we had runs that were for the female dogs, and then the other run was for the male dogs. So the female runs were considered community runs, so they were larger kennels, but you also put 2, 3, 4 dogs in each kennel that weren't even brought in together.
Right.
So now each dog has its own separate kennel.
Yeah. Oh, so that's cool. Yeah, I thought that seemed a little bit different.
Yes.
And it's really cool, and hopefully there'll be some footage in between that you'll have an opportunity to see. But the way that the door is engaged to allow them to go out, you pull this lever, and hanging from the lever is this big, long dog bone. It's kind of cool
that's our handle.
Seeing that. Yeah, yeah. So Jessica, how long have you been at the shelter?
Oh, I going on 4 years now. Yeah. So
And you love it.
I love it.
Yeah, you can tell. You can
Yeah.
really tell. And what a blessing it is to really enjoy what you do every day.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people don't get that opportunity, so it's really
that's
special.
to have to say, I have to go to work, you know, but to be able to be blessed with the, say, wow, you know, another day, another opportunity.
Yeah.
Some of the other things, the enhancements at the new shelter now that you didn't have before, the surgical suite is different, is it not?
Oh yeah. So the surgical suite used to be at our old shelter just a trailer. So she would go in and do the surgeries and in a trailer, and now she has her own private suite where we can we have an exam room, and then the dogs can be moved into the suite to do the surgeries, which will make it a lot easier for us in the future.
It certainly is a lot more professional. I mean, at the very least, you know, anyone who has the opportunity should really go and check out the wonderful animals that are there for adoption.
Absolutely.
And in a very inviting environment. We have an additional viewing room now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and that's important too, Teri. I'm sure you see it with families that want to come adopt a dog. They have an opportunity to sit there privately with the animal, the dog or the cat or the rabbit or the bird, whatever we have at the time. But isn't that a little bit easier?
Yes, with multiple viewing rooms, we can make multiple appointments now.
Right.
Where before, when we had people just walking in, we used to have to tell people they had to go back to the lobby and wait for the viewing room to be open.
Right,
So
right.
now we can have multiple appointments in different areas of the shelter. And when it gets nicer out, we have the outside pens to do those intros in also.
Right, right, yeah, so there are a number of pens. And, you know, I was at the old shelter, and I mean, it's just a world of difference.
Yes,
It
it is.
really, really is. And again, I can't thank you and all of the staff for your patience in getting us to this point. It's not easy. There's a whole process that has to take place, especially when you're doing things within the governmental world as opposed to the private sector. You know, there's a very stringent bidding process that has to take place, and also, too, not the least, is getting the commitment for the funding and making sure that, and then we were very fortunate in that respect that the project came in under budget, came in basically on time, considering that the shelter was built during COVID, that we were able to get that project, that we, you know, especially with the issues with supply chain in a lot of the building projects that people have seen be stalled because of the supply or lack of supply of materials. We were able to keep going on that project and deliver, you know, an absolutely beautiful facility for our residents and for the animals. So some of the other things, we do have the TNR program, and that was started during my tenure and something that people were interested in. Who'd like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the TNR program we have for
Let's tell everyone what TNR is who may not know.
trap, neuter, and release.
Right, so
And
for feral cats, and
for
that
feral cats.
has been an issue in some areas.
Yeah, the feral cat community is huge, so we have set this program up so that people in our town can trap and bring in the cats of the town of Islip to be spayed or neutered, just to even, you know, stop or control
The size
the
of the
community.
population, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we do that on Sundays. Either Teri or myself will come in, and yeah, it's the Animal Lovers League. That's who comes in.
Yeah,
and does
so
the
we
stays for us.
work with a not-for-profit. These are not taxpayer dollars, these are all volunteers
Right.
that do the program. And it seems to be working.
Yeah,
really
it
just-
definitely helps.
Yeah, yeah, because there have been, you know, areas in town that have been totally overrun
Yeah.
with feral cats.
And a lot of the times they can get pregnant so quickly after giving birth, and you know they give birth to say 11 kittens or
Yeah, yeah.
however many kittens, and then those kittens, if you don't catch them in time, they'll be
Right.
giving birth within, you know,
Right,
the first
it's-
year.
that multiplier effect is
Yeah, it's
huge.
very quick.
So the program is working, and we're very, very grateful for all of your efforts there. We're going to take a little break and come back to Supervisor Spotlight with Teri and Jess and Curtis and MC. Welcome back to Supervisor Spotlight. This is Angie Carpenter, and we're so fortunate today to have some really special guests, Curtis and MC, who are accompanied by Teri, who's the manager of our Town of Islip Animal Shelter and Adopt-A-Pet Center, and Jess, who's sitting there with MC, sitting there so peacefully. And these two are just aching to find their forever homes, and they're very likely candidates to be adopted, I think. They're pretty quiet and get along well with people. So that's my little pitch. Get down to that shelter. There's a lot of wonderful opportunities. So we had something really exciting happening, just started about a week and a half ago. Actually, January 17th, would have been Betty White's 100th birthday. And because of her love and commitment and passion for animals and trying to address the issue of potential animal abuse, etc., she's been so committed to this cause for so many years. And I'm not quite sure how it got started, but there was this Betty White challenge that was being put out there for anyone who would like to sign on, encouraging people to make donations as little as $5, and also toys or blankets or pet food or whatever to their local animal shelters. So we, of course, Teri and Jess were right there when I suggested that we do it, and it just took off. It really, really did. We kicked it off the Thursday before her birthday, and the media attention was incredible. And because of that, it's really gone well. So tell us where we're at so far with donations.
We received, one time Amazon called us, an Amazon driver, and he had 56 packages to deliver to us all at once.
Oh my
So he
gosh.
wanted to know where he should go, so we explained to him what he should do. But we've gotten,
But you guys had to actually help him because it was so much,
Yes.
I understood.
and then I believe we had UPS come in with like 34
Yeah,
packages.
Oh my
at one
gosh.
point.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
that's great.
So we've gotten a lot of great donations for the cats, the dogs.
So part of the challenge, people who wanted to donate, in addition to just writing a check or dropping off a donation, and we do have donation bins out front if someone wants to donate blankets or toys or treats, whatever. They were able to go on the Amazon site and just pick out what they wanted, pay for it, and have it shipped directly to the
Correct.
center. So that was why I guess you had as many packages coming as you did. But that's great. It's great. It enables you to do things that perhaps we might not have been able to do budgetarily.
Right, we got plenty of cat toys and tunnels to put in our catteries.
Uh-huh.
So it keeps the cats active, and when they're active and they're playing, it's easier adoptions when they're playful.
Yes.
So we have plenty of toys for that. We have more toys for the dogs now to do evals, and collars and leashes we also got, which we like to hand out a brand new collar and leash.
Oh, that's
for
nice.
any dog
That's
that gets
nice.
adopted.
That's nice.
We also receive litter that we use in all the cat rooms. Laundry detergent for all the towels and blankets that we do
Oh my
use, so we
gosh!
can
Yeah, now
wash
see,
them
I
all.
never would have thought of that.
Yeah,
and,
that's important.
and when you look at the price of where laundry detergent is going, along with everything else, is just unbelievable. The price of things. So it really does help in the mission to make sure we're doing the best we can for these animals and find homes for them.
Yeah, and we also got giant monetary donations as well, a lot of $5 donations, which adds up to a couple $1,000s, which
Yeah.
in return we can use for those things that we need.
That's great. That really, really is great. Well, that challenge is continuing. I would think that if Betty White were here, she'd say, keep those donations coming. So it will be ongoing. I would like to think that we would perpetuate her memory. And I said it that day, someone who, she never had children of her own, but she's left such a legacy. People just, I don't think I've met a person who doesn't have a soft spot in their heart for Betty White, and so it's translated so well to the animal community, and even after she's gone, her good works are going on. So that's quite a legacy and quite a tribute to quite a wonderful, wonderful human being. She really was. I was listening to something over the weekend, and Valerie Bertinelli, who was on a show with her, was talking about Betty, and someone asked, what do you remember most about her? And it was that she was so kind, her kindness. So can you imagine after you've gone that's the one thing that people remember about you? So kind of reminds us all to be a little kinder to one another when we go about our business each and every day. I'd like to talk a little bit about the adoptions and what happened during the pandemic, although we're still technically in the throes of the pandemic, but initially that had to make a difference, but we were able to keep going.
Yeah.
Yes, we did have to close escorts coming in, so people don't walk down the kennels right now, but we do everything by appointment. So we're asking anybody that's looking to adopt from us to fill out an application first. Once we get the paperwork end of it done, then we make the appointment for you to come in, your family to come in to see that animal, or a few animals. We don't just expect you to see one animal.
Do they, can they do that online? Can they fill that application out online?
We email the application to you,
Oh,
so you
okay.
have to send an email first. We'll send you the application. We do everything through email, so it's less coming into the shelter to hand in the paperwork, and then we make the appointment for you to come in, and hopefully, if everything goes well that day, you could take the dog or cat home that day,
Yeah.
or any animal home that day.
You know, you made some reference to evals, you said. There is a real process that takes place when a dog comes in.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes people just can't handle an animal any longer and they bring the animal in, or you pick up strays.
Yeah, we pick up a lot. We have a lot of strays. Most of our dogs at the shelter are strays. So we have no background on them. So after we hold them for the stray hold, after that's done, we do a complete eval. Jessica is a big part of the evals. Her and Kennel Aids will do it together. They eval the animal with food to see if he's food aggressive, with toys, whether it's a bone, a bully stick, stuffed animals, balls, just to see if you can get it away from the animal without any aggression. We also do touching of the ears, the feet, the tail, to see how they like being handled and restrained. And then we do a dog intro with another dog to see how they get along with other animals, and we can do a cat intro if we have to.
So that if someone is coming to adopt a dog who may already have a cat, you're able to see how that situation may go.
Potentially. That's a tough
Yeah,
one
yeah.
because it's not a home environment. So the cat's not doing cat-like things.
Right.
You know, they're not jumping around or running around the house or swatting at the dog. So we just kind of see what their behavior is through the cage, and then, you know, we just base it off of that. But we can never really guarantee that a dog will be okay with a cat in the home unless they're overly excited and
Right,
friendly to
right.
meet the cats.
So when a person does adopt a dog or cat and take it home, despite the screening, the visits, the evaluations that have been done and everything, and it just doesn't work, can they bring the pet back?
Yes. Yeah, they can call us and we'll take it back. We understand that it doesn't always work.
But that's
We're
great.
not a
That's
home
really great.
environment, so we
Yeah.
know that if the dog is going to be an escape artist in the house and he's not at the shelter because it's not a home environment.
Right,
you know, if
right.
he's going to run out a front door, they don't have that opportunity
Right,
at the
right.
shelter. So we will take it back. And then we'll hopefully look for another animal for them. We'll try to look for another one that would be best suited for their family
Right.
and their home environment.
Okay. Well, we are going to take a little break, and we'll be back with Jess and Teri and our friends Curtis and MC here on Supervisor Spotlight. Hi, welcome back to Supervisor Spotlight. This is your Town of Islip Supervisor, Angie Carpenter. Delighted to be here today with Teri and her friend Curtis from our Town of Islip Animal Shelter and Adopt-A-Pet Center. And Jess is here being accompanied by MC, who is so content.
Yeah.
Just so content. I don't think MC's going to want to go back.
I don't think so. He's
No,
having
I
fun.
know. You know, we talked a little bit about, before we took the break, about adoptions and the evaluations that take place. But I'd like to talk a little bit more about the process itself with the adoptions.
Yeah, okay. So if somebody sees the dog that they're interested in, right now with COVID, we're really doing a lot of things online. So they would take a look either on our Facebook, Adopt-A-Pet, or Pet Finder. If they see someone that they're interested in, they can either give us a call or send us an email, and in return, we'll answer any questions that they have, or we'll send them an application to fill out. After we receive the application, then we try to set up an appointment for them to come and meet the dog or cat or rabbit that they're interested in. And if they're not quite sure, because we're not doing the walkthroughs where people can just come in and browse, they can tell us, what they're kind of interested in and, what their home situation's like, and we'll try to find them a match.
Oh, great. So when someone gets an animal from the shelter, they are healthy because they've been screened and also spayed and neutered.
Spayed or neutered, up to date on vaccines, and microchipped.
Oh, okay.
And heartworm tested, and they're usually given a flea preventative and a heartworm prevention.
So they're in pretty good shape when they're taken home, as far as up to date with their shots, their vaccines, and the microchip, which is great.
Yeah,
Because
it's a big help.
The last thing you want to do is adopt a pet and
Gets
2
out on
months
you.
later it's gone. But the microchipping really helps. So no, that's terrific. I'm happy to hear that. So let's talk specifically about these 2 candidates we have here for adoption. Curtis, I met at the shelter last week, and is pretty energetic. Although sitting there peacefully in Teri's lap, you wouldn't know it, right?
Yes.
Tell us about Curtis.
He's 4 to 5 years old. He's a Spaniel Doxy mix. He's a little nervous and shy at first when meeting new people, but as soon as he gets comfortable with you, he's got a lot of energy, loves to play, run around. Doesn't quite walk on a leash yet. He does. I think he's afraid of the leash. He does the army crawl.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. But then he did eventually
he'll get
walk
up
on
and-
the leash.
He just has to get comfortable in his surroundings. But he seems to be dog friendly, as long as the dog gives him his space. He likes his personal space. But he would be a great family dog.
Yes. Yeah, I could see that. I really could. I mean, when I was there and was out in the pen with him, I mean, he was running circles and everything, but when I called him, he would come over and, would roll over and let you kind of rub his belly. He just likes the attention. And I think it would be very satisfying pet to have.
Yes, and he's also content to sit on your lap
Yeah,
and
yeah.
probably watch TV with you if you
Yes,
wanted to do that.
and not too big. How much does he weigh about?
12 pounds?
12, 15
Yeah,
pounds maybe.
yeah, a nice size. Not tiny, but not huge.
He's very sweet.
Yeah, very sweet. So everyone who's watching out there, please, think about Curtis. Think about Curtis. And we also have MC. Tell us a little bit about MC.
He is a 5-year-old Chihuahua mix. He is loving his time out today, so that's a good thing. You can kind of see, what he's going to do outside of the facility.
And getting into the car and
Yeah,
everything. How did both of them handle that?
Yeah, they did well.
They
Yeah,
did well in the
good.
car.
And he's great on a leash. He loves going for walks. He seems to be dog friendly, which is nice for families that have, other animals. And he's just an all around happy little guy.
How long has he been at the shelter?
He's been there probably 2 months or so.
2 months. And what about Curtis? How long has Curtis been there?
Probably a little
A
longer.
little longer than 2 months.
Yeah.
He was hit by a car, I believe, in the beginning,
Aw.
so we had him a
So
little
we had
extra
to let him
time.
recuperate first before
Gotcha.
we can start doing a proper eval on him.
Well, he seems to be doing pretty well now.
Yeah, he has no side effects of his incident.
Yeah.
Right? You're all better.
All better, all better. Also, at the shelter, we've in the past had a very robust volunteer program. I mean, people love coming there, just coming in and interacting with the animals, the cats, in the cattery. So where are we at with that because of COVID?
We have about 8 volunteers
Yeah,
that come
10,
in
something like
regularly. They do come in by appointment.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So they're still able to come
They're
in?
still able to come in.
Wonderful.
We try not to have all of them there at once, though, so we have some come on Saturday. They come at different times during the morning or afternoon. We are trying to start to take in more volunteers now that are able to come in, but again, everything's going to be done by appointment, but we have to train them.
Right.
So we do have a few applications we're going through now. We're going to start training. It's hard when the colder weather to train sometimes, so
Yeah.
we're
Well,
limited.
hopefully we're not going to have much more of
Yeah.
that. Hopefully.
I did train someone last week. They came on Saturday, so hopefully they can come again this Saturday to get a second training. And then, as long as they can come in, but they're only available on Saturday, which is fine.
Yeah.
But we have a few more applications that we're going to try to go through and call people up to do
Okay.
set up training sessions.
And I would, recommend you check the website.
Yes,
You
our
know.
volunteer application is on our page of the
Oh,
town's
terrific.
website.
So just go to Town of Islip, actually islipny.gov, and seek the link for the shelter, and you can download your application to volunteer. And it's the best of all worlds. I mean, if you love having a dog, but you really can't for your home situation, you can come in and bond with, play and enjoy seeing them enjoy the attention.
Yeah, and it does so much for them. You
Yeah.
know, the
Oh,
dogs
yeah,
that
the
are
interaction.
and the cats. Yeah,
And makes
really
them
important.
much more a good candidate for adoption
Yes.
if they've had that interaction with other
Absolutely.
human beings when the time comes. So what are some of the tips that you recommend to someone who's gotten their dog at the shelter? They went through the whole process now, and now they're going home. Now what? Give us some tips for that.
We always recommend having a crate for the dog
Ah, okay.
because we are not a home environment. We're not sure how he's going to act in the home, whether he's going to be completely house trained where he won't have, some dogs are going to have accidents at first until they learn their new environment and learn the home and where the back door is so they can go out.
Yeah.
We always tell them to keep a leash on the dog so you can always grab them, especially if you have other animals,
Right.
just to make sure that they're, they can't get into a little scuffle, because you never know when you bring a new animal
Right,
into a home
right.
that already has animals. And always to crate the dog when you're not home, because you don't
Oh
know what
gosh,
he's going to
right,
do.
exactly, exactly.
You don't know if the dog's going to have anxiety, or, if you don't want your dog on the furniture, you don't know if he's going to go on the furniture. So
Exactly.
just crate him when you're not home until the dog gets used to the home environment, the new family, and then you're comfortable letting him loose in the house.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, those are really, really good tips. Jess, you have anything to add?
Yeah, lots of walks. It's really good for bonding with your new dog, or if it's a cat, just spending time with them, maybe keeping them to one room in the beginning because it's new surroundings, so they need to get used to, that first. Maybe not having so many visitors over in the beginning, just so the dog can get used to and bond with the new family before introducing other
that's
people
really
to the
good. You
home.
don't want everybody,
Yeah,
rushing.
all at once. Some people want to get them for Christmas and then
Yeah.
are having Christmas parties,
Right,
and it's just
right.
not beneficial for them to
That makes a lot of
fully
sense.
adjust in a home.
That makes a lot of sense.
And if you need professional help, seek out a trainer.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I appreciate the tips. I appreciate the company today. This has been delightful. Teri and Jess, you do such a wonderful job there. And just urge everyone, if you're thinking about a pet, don't go to a pet store. Look up the Town of Islip Animal Shelter and adopt a pet center. Thank you so much for watching.